Hello, today I wanted to talk about gouache. To me, gouache is the perfect medium for illustration. It's like an illustrator's dream. My name is Holly. Welcome to Autumn River Designs. I've been painting with gouache now for about 2 years. It's a newer medium for me. There's always the excitement when you start off with a new art project, getting new supplies, seeing what works, what doesn't. In this video, I'd like to share with you the supplies that I'm currently using and what I'm finding works the best. I hope you enjoy this. I really am enjoying gouache. It kind of brings out the illustrator in you. This is where I did the bulk of my experimentation when it came to gouache. It was in the paper. I've got a variety of papers here. I've got mixed media, watercolor paper, and a few little surprises along the way. So I thought I would walk you through everything that I worked on and everything that I bought. So watercolor paper is the most obvious, and Arches is what I use for my watercolors. This is the cold pressed, 140 pound. It has the nice grainy texture for watercolors. This is absolutely to die for. It worked beautifully also with the gouache. So I have both the cold press. I also bought some of the hot press. I haven't experimented with this much yet, but it has a much smoother feel to it. It's a nice heavy paper. It should be fine, and maybe I'll do a video once I do a little more work with that. This is what I came up with. This is the Strathmore mixed media paper. It is 184 pound 400 series. It's a fairly heavy paper. I really enjoyed working with this. What I ended up doing was I did more of a graphic piece, I guess you'd call it. It's a line drawing with some nasturtiums around the chickens. What I loved about this was look how nice and crisp the line work is. You know how sometimes you get those fuzzy little edges? Nothing like that. I did only just lay down flat layers of color, so I'm not sure if you started really building up one layer on top of the other how that would work, but for now I'm really pleased with how this worked, and I'm definitely going to be going and doing more painting on this surface. Then I had a little bit of a surprise. I bought this at Michael's. We have a Michael's up here, and I bought the Artist Loft illustration pad. It's a lighter weight paper, it's 100 pound, but this was really great and great to work on. You know how sometimes you get a little worried, especially when you're using the more expensive all cotton paper, about how much things cost. Well, this was a great alternative just for sketching, for working on different ideas. I can't really show you too much, but it took the gouache fine. The line work was beautiful. I didn't see the stray edges or anything. This is gouache actually with colored pencil on top, and it really came out nice and crisp. The color is nice and vibrant. So, you know, if you're looking for a little more, but beside the watercolor paper, I started to venture out a little bit and I tried some different things. Now I have some mixed media paper here, but I also found I had some old Canson watercolor paper. This is Montval watercolor. Let's see, 140 pound. It's some old paper that I had been using when I first started in watercolor. This is absolutely glorious to paint on. It's a really heavy paper. Let's see if I can find. This was the painting that I ended up doing. I was able to do a lot of layering on it. The paper took the water fine. The colors are nice and bright and crisp. I was able to do layer upon layer, and I don't see any problems. And it was just such a joy. So I would say that if you want to save yourself a little money, that something like the Canson Montval might be the way to go. And now we have my favorite. This was the one that just made gouache my new favorite medium to paint in. This is the Strathmore black mixed media paper. It's 184 pound. This is the 400 series. It's a fairly heavyweight mixed media paper. And look at this. These colors just pop off the paper. Now I realize that this pink is actually a fugitive color. Not so sure how that's going to be 5 or 6 years from now. That wasn't my intent when I started painting with this anyway. I just wanted to see how this on this paper, and the more I painted, the happier I was. To me, it just glows in the dark. This was just, you know, you have one of those times when you're painting and you just get excited as you're going. You're not feeling like you're just slogging through. This was definitely the defining moment. Anyway, I love this paper. I love how this came out. For starting off, I bought Winsor & Newton designer gouache. Now, I just bought a starter set, and I've been adding slowly along the way. For example, there's a raw umber in here. There's a sap green I bought, and at some point along the way I did buy this Van Dyke brown. The one thing I would recommend get a larger tube of white. You just go through white. So this is, let's see here, 37 mil. So I would definitely consider that when buying paint. So for brushes, I used my watercolor brushes. And this is just kind of a sample of what I used. Let's see if we can do this. So we have here, I have a Princeton number 4. A black velvet number 6. A really old Dick Blick. It's a 1/2 inch flat. And this is a Utrecht number 7, and it's not coming in. There we go. It's coming into focus now. And this is just kind of a rough sample of all. I just used all my watercolor brushes. For me, this is one of the most important parts of gouache painting. It's the Stay Wet palette. I am an extremely slow painter, so this has saved my hide I don't know how many times. You can keep your paint fresh in here for a couple days. So I can get this open for you. It has a sponge underneath and then this special paper that lays on top. And as long as you keep it, damp, the paint will stay pretty moist for, I don't know, maybe 2 days. It can always be reactivated by spraying water on it. But this has, like I said, this is crucial for me to get anything done. The other thing I use these very inexpensive plastic palettes. And what I use them for is when I'm mixing up a good size batch of paint. Maybe I've got a certain color that I need to mix. These wells will hold it. Now it's not a Stay Wet, so it's not going to last. You have to, start painting with it immediately. But it holds the paint in that little well just fine. Plus, you can reactivate paint. So if you want to take this out tomorrow and start painting with it again, you would just spray it with one of these little spray bottles, and you could reactivate the paint.